We're going to start with your name, where you were born, and a little about your family.
Um, my name is Levi Rice. I was born, begin with City Hospital at my birth, at Baltimore, which was uh, raised in 916 Arlington Avenue with my family there. We had people, 19 people in that home. It was the first floor of a three-story building.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Yes. You said it was 19 of you?
I had approximately
Thank you.
approximately 20. When I added up, there's about 20 people in that building, excluding my mom, old brother,
All right.
and you, uh, and it was too many people involved.
What did your early education look like?
Was I
When starting in, let's say, primary school?
well, primary school? I did well with that.
What did your actual school, as far as your resources and the teachers, like what type of teachers did you have teaching you while you were in school, and what type of resources were allowed to a all black school compared to that of the all white schools that you saw?
Well, at the time that we the the teachers were what you might say concerned about you.
Mm-hmm.
They apply themselves. They wouldn't they'd be on one because after the class, if you're not doing well,
Mm-hmm.
they'll put their time up to allow you to get the understanding.
Did you have any white teachers
None
teaching you?
whatsoever.
None, all black.
All of it. See, that particular black community, it was nothing but blacks.
All right. So I was reading about our black communities.
Mm-hmm.
As far as you can recall, what did your actual community look like? So it's my gathering that black people weren't allowed to move into white communities, and they blocked us from buying houses in their white communities.
I will educate you a little bit more.
All right.
Appleton Street, which is North,
What street?
North Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Those was areas that the Jews lived in that area.
Yes.
Appleton.
All right.
Appleton.
Yes. Yes. The Jews and the whites. Just the Jews, or the Jews and the whites?
Yes.
The Jews and the whites.
Yeah, so that was Jews was accelerated in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Payson Street and that low and on. All the North Avenue was white area.
Yes.
That was off limits for us.
You weren't even allowed to go there.
Well, we had a borderline before as far as North Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue. Now there was a corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and North was called the Mint Theater.
The Mint Theater?
Yeah, that was white.
That was the white theater.
Yeah.
So was the Royale the black theater?
Royale was only black.
That was the black theater.
Yeah, Royale.
All right. Yeah, I was reading about that.
Yeah.
There was a black lawyer that moved, and that's what created the borderline as to what the black community was and the white Jewish community. Wherever he bought on Pennsylvania Avenue, where he bought his house, that's where the blacks. Once he bought his house, the white people no longer wanted to move to that area, and the black people started moving there on Pennsylvania, and the white people moved to the area where predominantly white were and Jews. The Jews eventually started moving up towards Reisterstown, where they currently reside, the Jewish community. Did the other families in your community look similar to yours, as far as how they worked and how their houses?
The educated people, the ones that was educated,
yes,
they moved in
yes,
that area.
Yes. The guy the lawyer that first moved, and on Pennsylvania Avenue, he's a lawyer, so he's educated, and that's sort of where it created that divide.
Absolutely.
Even though he was educated, white people no longer. As black people moved, did you find that as black people moved into the community, the whites were moving out?
Yeah, well, that's so true.
Yeah. Were you allowed to use white facilities?
No, I'll explain to you a little bit.
All right.
Downtown clothing stores,
Uh-huh.
all that was absolute white, like Oshacorn, Hustle, May Company,
Mm-hmm.
that company.
They were all white.
Company was the first one to break the ice.
Who was it?
Heckle Company.
Hats. All right. I remember that.
Braggers, but that was the only
Bragger
black. They was the only black.
Brager Gutman's.
Gutman.
That was on Utah.
And that was the black department store.
Yes, you could buy, but you wouldn't wear any garments or whatever. Only store that would allow you to wear was Bragger Gutman.
Did you ever have an encounter, like a violent encounter with a white person, or just period?
I wouldn't go in there.
No.
And I wouldn't to cause any problem. I would just go to the store
That allowed the black people.
Yeah, because they absolutely, and as my wife was saying, that they had security guards there. They were really very stiff.
All right.
Very stiff.
What about in your everyday life? Did you have any, violent encounters outside of the department stores, maybe, or any concern for your family? Not being allowed in the stores, or right?
The grocery store that in the neighborhood,
Uh-huh.
in fact, it was on the corner of Mosier and Alderson Avenue. Miss Yummy, when he took and spit in my face, that was the other side of him.
Mm-hmm.
One, they had two sides.
Mm-hmm.
One side was just nice to be, but then the other side they showed the nasty.
Why did he spit in your face?
And because I override him. I keep telling him, he talked to me,
Mm-hmm.
he talked me, shouted at me. Next thing you know, I said, I don't think you would talk to me like that.
Oh.
But then that was the other side. He had experience with a classmate, and the family lived on Lafayette Avenue, 700 block.
Mm.
And they were mixed.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a dear friend, he was dark.
Mm-hmm.
And he became, because he was one of those that was integrated in the schools. He was kind of one of the first ones that became a fire chief. And he was the one that the family that I was mingling with,
Mm-hmm.
they would not accept him. When I went
Was it because he was darker?
Dark, yeah, sure. And they were mixed. They was that particular area, the primary Lafayette Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
He said, told the father said, talk to him. And he said, I heard a whisper, and he said, it's all right for Levi. But no.
But your friend.
We was prejudiced on our own selves.
That's what I'm saying.
Terrible.
This is a hard thing. That's a pill to swallow. When you got a mixed folks that stood with you to some degree and said that you can't go no further. He said he said, all right. They said, go around the corner. We're gonna go like around the corner, and then my friend we was separated. Now Russell was a sister solicitor.
Oh my goodness.
Sister solicitor.
Yes, sir.
He lived right on Murder Avenue.
Sure did.
He
In
was
the city.
Yeah, he was sister
right in the
solicitor
city.
in Baltimore.
Solicitor for what?
He was the top. Russell was the top lawyer in Baltimore City. Top
Segregation.
lawyer.
He was a black lawyer?
Yeah, black
Herman
lawyer
Mitchell.
called Russell. Now his Russell family lived on Myrtle Avenue. Between Lafayette Avenue.
This is
and
still all West Side, right? Is that
Yeah,
still
West
West
Side.
Side?
West
Okay.
Yeah, all this
All
West
right,
Side.
all this is West Side.
Yeah, and these was all prominent people that ran the area,
Yes.
and they shot up because they politically involved.